Today's topic, we're going to talk about, should you choose a Daygame coach because they're your same ethnicity? I'm going to open up my phone. As you can see, there's a lot of new testimonials. I post 6 of them because others posted 6 of them. So I matched it. However, when you look at my playlist over here, there's more than 6. These are all Asians, by the way. You're wondering what the fuck? Why are there so many Asians? There's a lot of Asians in here. It keeps going, but yeah. So there's 30 new laid testimonials in the playlist. 30 Asians. That's a lot of Asians in this playlist. You can look at my YouTube. Why is there 30 Asians? That's fucking insane. So we're going to look at the numbers. I want to offer my opinion. Why you should choose a dating coach, not just on the same race, but because of their merits, their student results. So I made a chart over here. The chart states John Elite, 30 student results. These are all lays, by the way, as in my playlist. The second one is ABCs of attraction. And this is a rough speculation, but I believe it is accurate. So according to ABCs, they have around 6 Asian laid testimonials. 6 for Daygame. I'm not talking about night game. ABCs of Attraction does have testimonials for night game. In fact, they have a lot of testimonials. And over here on the chart, you have Queefing Casanova. He has around 7. He has a little bit more than ABCs of low self-esteem. And over here, so you can see the breakdown. Should you choose them based on your own race? What I'm asking you is, should you choose ABCs of Attraction? Just for a few late testimonials. Well, I just posted a playlist of 30. We can go over all of them, one by one. One of my students over here, 5'4" Filipino, as you can see. He's banging models and strippers here. Right over here, as you can see on the playlist. Models and strippers, and has 150 lays under my training. This is the highest amount of lays for a student before he went to a different coach. So I'm credited with 150 lay testimonials. And that can go on. This is more impressive than just 7. I can give you that. In fact, he got 7 after one Skype. He got 7 lays, and I'll post all his lay pics, but I'll censor it very well. So don't worry. And his lay videos, I'll censor it very, very well. 150 lays versus 7. And he got 7 in 3 weeks, and he didn't approach as much after his Skype. So do you need a long boot camp? Look at the numbers. But what is this 5 number? Why is there a 5? Imagine there was a fictional dating coach. He is taller than me. He doesn't exist. He's from an alternate universe. But however, he has a darker complexion. So what ethnicity is this coach? Is he black? Or is he Indian? Or Bangladeshi? Or Sri Lankan, being darker skin? Well, whoever he is, who doesn't exist, he has 5 lay testimonials for Asians. 5. Let's say without a certain person's involvement, uncredited. That's 5. If he only has 5 lay testimonials for this person, this taller figure than me that may or may not have hair, this fictional character, he only has 5 Asian lay testimonials, and they're like ego tripping. Like, oh, I'm the best option. Well, I always wanted to make this video. Should you choose a dating coach based on your own ethnicity? And this person, whether he's black or Indian or, Sri Lankan, whatever it's called, and he only has 6 Indian testimonials. That's a reverse question. Should you choose that coach with only 6? But John, you only posted 9 right now. Well, I haven't finished posting all the screenshot testimonials. As you see with my new playlist, you saw the Indian one, Dear Indians. There's one called Dear Asians with 30. But guess what? There's going to be 31 by tonight after I finish with this. It'll keep going. It'll keep going. I'm just posting 75% of the testimonials I have. 75%. But you can see how hard it is to get even one Asian laid testimonial. It's for most dating coaches. They only have what they call a token Asian. So what it means by that is there's always that one exception to the rule. If they have more than one or two, then congratulations. If they have around 5, this is where it begins. 5, 6, and 7. And 30 plus. And I'll post more by tonight. I've just been busy. That's why you didn't see it for all these years. So should you choose a coach based on worship? That's the better question, worship. Because the guy says, oh, he's the best POA or some shit like that. I think my Pakistani mentor is the best POA. That's what I think. And he was the one who taught me all the technologies to gaming elite. All the technologies you see, the pomade, the hair, the clothes, social skills, social calibrations. When they have 5 Asian lay testimonials, does that mean they're the only option? No. So if it's not worship, then what is it? How does John have 30 plus? And this is just like a low figure of what I really have. It's just the ones I've edited because I've been busy and I've been lazy. I don't like video editing. I don't like making thumbnails. That's not my job. I'm a dating coach. And of course, with JT Tran, 6 is not bad. They don't happen very often. So why is there so less testimonials? Now you got to ask yourself a question. Even JT Tran talks about social skills, doesn't he? Oh, yeah, Asians are lacking the social skills. And because they got tiger parents. Just because they talk about social skills doesn't mean they possess social skills. Maybe let's put that in perspective. It's like a zombie POA. Are they really teaching social skills if they have 5 Asian lady testimonials? 6 and 7? No, that's something else. Queefin Casanova calls it verbals. He's teaching verbals, zombie verbals. The other people are teaching what they call conversational skills before. Now they renamed it to social skills to confuse you. There's a difference between social skills and socio skills. SOCIO. Socio skills. Because why do I have 30 plus Asian laid testimonials versus them? Because why are they the same? What they're teaching is not social skills. It's game. It's a gamified version of social skills. It's not like the actual watch. It's like a knockoff of the watch, a homage. It's just a close replica. It's not a replica, but a close copy of the watch. Just like it's a close copy of social skills. And that's why it doesn't work that well. But you're saying, well, just 5 Asians, right? Maybe there's more. No, there isn't. Why is there 6 Indians? 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. It's a very close figure. And if this person, this question mark, this person taller than me, fictional character, Bangladeshi or Sri Lankan, has only 5 Asian lay testimonials, 5, 6 Indians, then the better question is for Indians, should you train with a dating coach because they're your same ethnicity? You have to look at the testimonials. How many Daygame? I don't care about any other kind of testimonials. Night Game, Tinder, whatever the fuck. I'm talking about Daygame. And it's the same with the black people. I remember back in the day with Justin Wayne. With Justin Wayne, everyone that were black who trained under me and got laid. And I didn't post their testimonial because they would not make me a video testimonial. They would not. Because they're ungrateful. There are so many black people that got laid under my training because they're worshiping Justin Wayne. Worshiping. So they're like, oh, don't train with a student, train with the master or the instructor. Well, then go train with Justin Wayne. But how many testimonials does Justin Wayne have? He has 8. How many Asians? One token Asian that got married. Married, that's not bad, but he's a good looking guy. That's really the kind of testimonials they get. They mostly get Asians who are tall and good looking. And I will post the Justin Wayne testimonials for the students that are black who did not make me a video testimonial, just like I posted for 30 Asians over here. 30. So if they're not teaching social skills, what are they teaching? They're teaching the social skills, a different kind of set of skills. They can talk about social skills all they want, but I had a really hard lesson learning social skills. You know, I was not perfect at it. I was not. But then before I went to the inner circle, I was trained by a guy who's 5'4" and Pakistani. He says, John, you have very good game. You have good body language. You have good, you know, your emotions are okay. But he said, the one thing that you're missing, that you're not perfect at, is social skills. Social skills. He says, the more you have of the other things like social skills, the less you need of game. And that was a big revelation. And then I went over to my Pakistani mentor's mansion. And that's a bigger revelation because for him, his social skills was perfect. I couldn't believe how he talked. He talked like the TV show Friends. Like, hey, how's it going? Oh, I never heard that before. That's interesting. He talked to everyone perfectly. It's like, oh, yeah, you know, this COVID's like that and everything. I can't believe it. It's like, how about you? How are you doing? He knew how to adapt to everyone. I was like, wow. He talked to like 6 people on the phone and women were begging to meet him. I was like, how do you change your tonality like that? And he said, John, here's the big secret. Besides social skills, by the way I talk. It's almost like my skin color because he has darker complexion. He's Pakistani, but he had very dark skin. He says, it's almost like my skin color disappears. That's the magic trick because of the way he talks. He's whitewashed. And I said, I knew it because I do that with my students. I said, yes. Because as soon as I open my mouth and she sees my body language and the way I talk, they forget that I even have a darker complexion. And I was like, whoa. But the social skills I've seen from the people, a guy came from California. He had perfect social skills. In fact, he was friends with Steve Wozniak. He was rich motherfucker. He was a natural. The woman he bangs has the body like 10 out of 10. The face was around like 7.9. Body like 10 out of 10. He knew how to, he was from California. He knew how to interact with everybody. All the big names. If you go to his house and you try to rob it, a drone will just fly out of the top of the roof and then, you know, tell you to fuck off. That's how rich his dad was. So he didn't do anything, but he worked on his social skills. All the naturals I knew had perfect social skills. I hung around so many naturals. I met Jewish naturals, Jewish Russians, Jewish Polish. I met Pakistanis, tall one, short one. I've also, my chiropractor, right? He doesn't want me to say this, but he's also a natural before when he was younger. He sometimes gives me like tips. He's so good at it. He came up with this concept called no worries. No worries. You know, no worries. He said, go with their frame. If she wants to hang out, just say, yeah, no worries. Let's hang out. You know, eventually, by not trying too hard and always having a no worries frame, chiropractor telling me to go UBC because he went to every course there. So that's the thing, though, that these people are not teaching you the same social skills. They can call it social skills all they want. It is socio skills. So automatically, the testimonials are 5, 6, and 7 versus whoosh, way up here. And Queefing Casanova puts the hands in his pocket. So the strategy behind the positive stereotypes teaching you, JT Trans not one, is that they have a different type of game that they play. And I made a video on this. I couldn't even believe how accurate this video was. This video talked about positive stereotype game versus negative stereotype. Let me see if I can find a screenshot. Well, basically, I'll draw it out for you guys so you can see it for yourself. The strategy is that those 5 late testimonials, those 7 for Queefing Casanova, and those 6 for JT Trent, the odds are, what are your odds of becoming number 6, number 8, or number 7? If it took all these years for these people, allegedly, to get this amount, then obviously you will not become that. You might have to be a certain type. Maybe you're very tall. Maybe you have a barrel chest, like a huge fucking chest, 5'10", full of muscles. Or you're like 6'2" or something. That's the thing. Asians cannot status max in most cases. And I'll show you about my student later on. I have a 5'4" student over here. And 5'4". For him, let's see if you can see it or not. You can see the things scheduled. 5'4", banging models, banging strippers under my training. 150 lays. 150 fucking lays. That's even better than some of the taller students that got like 25 lays and stuff that I have. 150 is all Daygame. And the women are much hotter than his look scale. He is the perfect prototype because his social skills is so good that he can run a social circle. He's not the leader of the social circle, guys. It's not like he's playing some status game. No. He is playing a game where he's able to navigate a normal social circle with social skills. Do you think these PUAs over here, by what they're being taught, their gaminess, their so-called expressions, are going to be able to run a social circle? No, they're going to seem like the creepy motherfucker that they are. That's why they have less testimonials. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but look at the numbers. 30, I'll post 31 tonight. I'll post like more tomorrow and more tomorrow. It won't stop. Even if they have 20 more late testimonials, and maybe there might have more Indians and more Asians. Probably not, but maybe 1 or 2 more. Even though I'll match testimonial for testimonial. They post another 4, I'll post another 4 Indians. They posted another 5 Asians, I posted 6 Asians. Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. So why you hide these testimonials from the public, John? Because I got too many and I'm a narcissist. I enjoy trolling people to make them feel like they have a chance. They don't. They don't. They feel like they're a god, right? It's like, you know, they're like, my defense is impregnable or some shit like that. I'm ferocious, right? I'll eat their heart. I'll eat their children. Faith be to Allah. It's like, dude, 30 late testimonials versus fucking 5. So, as I was saying, because I can't really read off the screen back here, I had some notes. I had some notes, but I can't read it because my eyes are fucked. I gotta get some laser eye surgery. But the positive stereotype versus negative stereotype game, let's talk about it. Why? And this is funny because I actually made a video on positive and negative stereotype game. I can't believe that this actually shows up in real life. I would show you, but I can't find it right now. I'll draw out the chart. It's exactly identical. This is why you don't get results. And they talk about emotions. I'll talk about why that's not the entire solution for my students. All right. So, when they play the game, hopefully you can hear me. There's a mic over here. See? Bing! So social skills, remember, they don't have social skills. They just use the gamified version. Social calibrations, they don't talk about it, so it is a half-truth pill. Emotional control and game. Remember, the positive stereotypes always go to game first. That's why you talk about game. Game is the future. No, it's not. Because you have to ask yourself, because I wrote down here, how many late testimonials do they have for their product? Their new ones. And lots of people are releasing new products during COVID-19 for Daygame. Todd Valentine, who released one, he never had a single late testimonial for his last one. So how many late testimonials did they get for their product? 0! Like, John claims that they're going to be foisting you into a boot camp. Their products are designed not to work. Of course, that's a speculation, but maybe that's not speculation. Maybe I already know the plan. Maybe I was even told the plan, you know? And maybe I was being told that, John, because you design your products to work right away, you have more testimonials, but I'll have more bootcamp students. You know, you're losing money. Maybe I remember something like that. My memory is kind of fuzzy. So, having said that, that shocked me, if I remember correctly. So, game, emotional control. Then they finally go to social calibration. They don't do it. They just use expressions for the face. And then lastly, social skills. That's the strategy, like the S. Like this. I taught the opposite way. And this is why I think my way is better. Because there's 30 lay testimonials backing it up. It's not like I'm talking out of my ass here. It's not like I'm talking on my ass, because you can go to my playlist anytime. It's called Dear Asians. It's right here. Okay, it's called Dear Asians. It's right here. There's 30 of them right here today. You're like, oh, fuck, man. Some of these are placeholders for now. Until I finish the testimonial, I got to rehire my video editor. But 30 of them versus 5, 6, or 7. Holy shit. Asians. And this is not like all my lay testimonials, because now even the testimonial section has grew a lot to 70, but that's nothing. Other good dating and travel advice I forgot to ask you. Oh shit. More okay, whatever. Today I'm talking about, like, should you choose a dating coach because you're the same ethnicity? And for them, I'm just saying, for a Asian one, for a dark colored skin one who's taller than me, fictional one, they only got 5 Asian lay testimonials without my involvement, inner coached, which you're taking credit for, and 6 Indians. Doesn't make any sense. So does social skills, does game work? They're not teaching social skills, because Queefing Casanova is teaching verbals. That's a zombie kind of game. No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. 5, 6, JT Tran has their own flow drills. They have their own drills that they say, speaking of whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they use the last sentence. I was playing tennis. Speaking of tennis. And they'll keep going on and on. Blah, 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 blah. I hit the ball over the court. Speaking of hitting the ball over the court, blah, blah. They keep practicing these stupid zombie-like drills. They talk about stupid zombie-like drills. These verbal exercises, these are not social skills. These are not the stuff you can navigate a social circle with. These are gamified, artificial shit. So never let them use the word social skills again, because they never used it in the past. They'll change the half-truth pill definition to match whatever they need to match at the time. They change their mind so many fucking times. First they were saying it's all red pill, and now it's like, oh, fuck red pill, right? Because red pill is under attack. They'll change your mind for everything. Oh, now it's not about looks, right? It's just about emotions. How they make it. The half-truth pill changes. And they'll never talk about social calibrations. They call it expressions. This is the positive stereotype game. They call it, oh, the students, the Asians just need to be more expressive, right? They need to move their face and be expressive. See, that's a Negro game. A Negro game, kind of like Justin Wayne game, is all about expression. Hey, where do you get that necklace? Okay, yeah, that's good. Moving their expression. Oh, by the way, I'm just looking at their legs, right? Blah, blah, blah. And these stupid fucking lines that I've learned before in the past, especially one that says, sorry, just looking at your eyes, I just couldn't make sentences. That sounds weird. Who talks like that? Who can't make sentences? But that was what I was learning, these stupid fucking POA lines. So stupid. So fuck the lines. I don't teach lines. I teach algorithms. If you're going to do a push-pull, right? You don't do a push-pull. Just give her whatever fucking compliment and whatever tease. 1, 2. Make it up on the spot. Be natural, but tactical and adaptive. Social skills. All the naturals have real social skills. This is not social skills. So let's talk about my student. So for this student, not sure if you can see it very clearly, but hopefully that it is bigger here. No, it's not. He's a 5'4" Filipino guy. And over here, he's banging strippers, models, and stuff like that. A lot of hot women. You can see it for yourself here. Right here. A lot of tall white girls too. And he's trained by me before he got 10 flakes in a row. So what can we say about him that made it work? Because he's the perfect blueprint for all future Asians in my program. Okay? So I'm going to make the text a little bit bigger because I can't see shit. He made similar adaptations like I did for body language. But Elite 30 was not created yet at the time. He has the exact same hairstyle as my other students. Even if I never taught it to him, you're like, whoa, he's making the same adaptations as Johnny Elite? Yeah. And I used to be friends with this guy way back in the day. He was one of the most legendary POAs. And I trained him. He got in trouble with the fucking news because he kept posting too many lay pics on these forum groups. And it was my fault because, not my fault, but because I was training him and he's just getting more results. So this is one of those things that, you gotta be careful about. He made similar, he has the exact same hairstyle as my other students. Oh yeah, he was wearing a blazer too. He was actually wearing a blazer. Me and him, we love wearing blazers. He had like nice white blazers, nice reddish blazers. I wear more of the black color. I have some gold trim here. But for this only 5'4" student, why was he making the same adaptations? Because if you want to be one of the 5 or number 6 of this one, you would probably need to be quite strong and tall. And this is not for everyone. You might not even get any results because you're playing positive stereotype game. And yes, Asians, they may not be able to status max, but this student did. He had a cool job that women liked, a high status job. So that gave him more status and money at the same time. Everything is not about the using more expressions or using more game or using this. It's about getting those points up. 20 out of 35. Do you understand that? If you're lacking in status, you got to make up for it in looks for Asians and social skills, real social skills. And the drills I teach you are going to be very hard to do. The drills I teach you. It's not just being in the social circle, because if you can fuck that up, you can fuck that up. Or just socializing, because you can take a person who's very autistic and teach them how to socialize. They'll fuck up. There are social rules, social faux pas, as they call it in French, which means like mistakes. You do one of those mistakes, guess what happens? Everyone will isolate you, just like everyone's leaving right now. Just like everyone's leaving right now. Because they've been gaslighted, been brainwashed. Besides that, he was also wearing heel lifts. So he's 5'4" to 5'7", my height. He will never day game by himself, not being that height. And he was social skills maxing, which got him women above his look scale or SMV. It's not just about being taller, because he can't be taller. Playing a positive stereotype game. I taught him in 2016 or 2015. I can't remember. But I knew him since 2014. And for the 5 mindsets, unlike the Asians of today. Number 1, he is coachable. Everything I taught him, he adapted. He adapted to everything I said. I don't know why the guys are dropping off, but fuck you guys. Anyways, let's continue. I don't care. I'm going to get the message out there. Whether you drop off or not. What, you're going to drop off, you motherfucker? Run, you motherfucker, run. Come on, be a pussy, run away. I don't know why it keeps going down to 0 for the view count, but it's okay. I don't care. I'll preach the message. You don't like to hear it? Fine. I'm going to preach the truth. You guys can run if you want. I don't know why you're running. For the 5 mindsets, he's coachable. He's adaptable. His skills was really high, by the way. His belief in himself is good, and his manifestation for thoughts and feelings. He nearly maxes out on all the mindsets. He might be the first student that will get a score out of 50. Most of the Asian students today, the Chinese, and I don't get the kind of Chinese students that they get. I don't get the big barrel chested, coachable students. I get the most dog shit students that'll argue with me about hair products. They'll even punish themselves, calling themselves out in front of the mirror and recording it for me. And next second, they'll fight me over the pomade. They'll fight me over the meal plan. They'll fight me over intermittent fasting. They'll fight me over everything that they can fight me over. The Chinese. And the Chinese have been just fucking ego trippers. Why can't I get their Chinese students? These five, these tall motherfuckers, or these fucking gigantic, muscular, coachable students. I get the most dog shit students. But this student was an easy case. This Filipino guy. He was such an easy case. His score was almost like 49 out of 50. When I taught him, it was almost like installing a program. He just says, done. He just does it. He doesn't think about it. He just does it. He doesn't argue. He doesn't resist like you Asians right now. Can I get normal people for a change? Can I get normal people? So for this 5'4" Filipino with 150 lays, for the people showing up right here, you can look at my playlist. As I have 30 Asian students laid on my playlist versus their meager amount, low amount. And also for this student, what else was he good at? Mindsets are great. Okay. I only had to teach him game because Elite 30 was not invented yet at the time. So he bought the playbook. He got 10 flakes in a row from women. 10. And I was like, shit. He said, okay, is it testimonials only about lay counts? In most cases, yeah. Unless they pulled it or something, sometimes I still post in my blog for the number, the 485. If they get a poll, I still add that to the number. If they get like 12 lays in a row, it just counts as one. So that's how I count it. If it's like one lay, it's just another one. 2 polls, same time. A few days they contact me, I just add 1. I don't add extra. So it's like a garbage bag. I just put them all in there and just throw it, and here's a new number. So this is just for the Asians. You got to remember, if this is over 30 plus for today, for Asians, other dating coaches, Queefing Casanova has 7. ABCs of low self-esteem has 6. Other dating coaches are bragging with 5. It's ridiculous. They think they're gods now. I mean, I just posted 6 more just to match this one. I can post as many as it takes to match them. Same with Indians. They only got 6, and they claim that, they are like you, right? They know your problems. And so should you choose a dating coach based on the race? You should not choose it based on the race and just say, oh, because you're Indian, they're Indian automatically. Or you're black, they're black. It's like, I choose Obama. He black, I black. I choose Obama. No, you should choose them if they're qualified. Not because of worship. You see what happens with worshiping? And the lack of social skills. Social skills. Just because they talk about social skills doesn't mean they possess social skills. They sound like fucking robots, all of them. They sound like autistic robots. Nuts. You guys heard it. What the fuck are they saying? It's like so retarded. You'll never use that in a social circle. They can barely even fucking talk properly. And they're going to teach you social skills? More like zombie skills. Socio skills. Zombie socio skills. So there's a big amount of difference. So you should not just look at it because the coach is Asian, you choose somebody else. No. Of course not. You should choose the coach that has the most student laid. And also you should look at your race and see if they actually have any testimonials for your ethnicity. If they claim they are Indian or Sri Lankan or something, and they say they can help their Indian brothers, well, they only help 6, but they help themselves to a lot of fucking money. All the dumb Indians, and no offense, not to be racist, but all the dumb Indians in India, how many Indians from India did they get laid? From India? 1? Do they need testimonials from every coach to qualify as a coach? That's a good question. Because ABCs of attraction. and also Queefing Casanova, they only teach certain ethnicities. You see, we should free up the students from those Asian ones, because you should not automatically go to ABCs or Queefing because they're giving you half a pizza. They're like, here you go. You want some game coaching? Okay, I'm gonna give you some game coaching. Okay, we're gonna pretend that I'm gonna teach you some Daygame. You're just gonna go through the motions, okay? And we're gonna work out a little bit, not take steroids. And from there, you want okay. We're gonna go night game a lot, Yeah, a lot of students get laid during night game. They pull a lot, but Daygame, just try your very best. Even though they don't have that many late testimonials, they don't. Same with ABCs, because mystery method does not work for Daygame. You're like, what? What about mystery? Mystery's not a Daygamer, is he? Second of all, I was there before Mystery. Mystery's 2003. I'm 2001. So I have 2 years. It doesn't mean I invented new stuff. I use Ross Jeffrey's lay guide and this kind of shit. I was just using their shit. But I was there before. And the lay guide was a night game guide. Most of these guys are night gamers. That night game technology does not work for day game. Look at self-proclaimed high lay count guy. How many lay testimonials does he have? 3, allegedly. That's all I found so far. 3. Mystery method. Derivative. Not that effective. I mean, even my 30 lay testimonials has more than some of these guys here for all their students. For lays. Unless they want to post 20 more, I'll match 20 more. They post 30 more, I match 30 more. They want 50 more, I'll match them all. I haven't posted everything. Now you're seeing the testimonial page is growing. It was like 65. Now it's like, set alarm for sleeping. I don't remember doing that. But now that's just a fucking Dear Asian page. But what about the testimonial page? You're like, fuck, man. Look at this shit. Oh, motherfucker, look at that shit. Holy shit, motherfucker. So many testimonials. This is just the beginning, guys. What if I told you this is just the beginning? Motherfucker, this is just the beginning. Because I'll be posting the screenshot testimonials too. Motherfucker, this is just the beginning. Holy shit. Oh, they don't even have that much. Hell, even my Asians outnumber their fucking testimonials. I am the Johnny Lee. This is not even like all of it. This is very little of it. I haven't even posted the post stuff. You're like, holy shit. Oh my God. These are all people, guys. There'll be more. There'll be way more. And you're like, so who's really teaching social skills and social calibrations? Who's teaching a system that's more suitable? Especially when I'm talking about this 5'4" Filipino guy. While only taught him game, I told him exactly what the mistakes were. You're missing this, and this. And he worked on it. He didn't complain. So many lays, 7 in a row. And the women are way hotter than all the other coaches, like students. Well, it did take 3 weeks. But man, he fucking did very well. And then he finally passed 50 lay count. And then afterwards, he kept sending me testimonials. I'll post them. I'll post them all. I'll censor them and post them all. And that's not the only student that got results. Many more students. For example, what's the most recent one? You guys have seen a testimonial like this, right? Do you remember this guy? This Asian guy?
So this is my video testimonial for John Elite,
Remember him?
Best dating coach in the world. I just want to give a quick review and personal experience.
This is during lockdown 3, guys. The 3rd lockdown. A Filipino guy. Although he's not super short, he wears the same fashion as me. And he was working on the social skills, flow drills, and body language. Well, it did take 3 months because each Skype that he took was a month apart. But however, for him, the first Skype, he already pulled the woman home and she wanted to fuck. But he didn't know that. Her choosing signals. He didn't know. He cannot read it. And it's like, what the fuck? I can hear it in this infield. I point out every single instances where, when to tease, when to flirt. I can see it. I can hear it. Maybe sometimes in real life, I get overwhelmed and overwhelms my senses. But I can read it and I can hear it when I enter and coach the students. The second time he got laid. So he only made 6 approaches during a week. So a week is 7 days. 7 days a week. But he's only made 6 approaches. And it didn't take him much. Once he finished his second Skype, he got laid so many times. It was so easy for him, wasn't it? So easy.
Of how he has helped me get the results that I want.
I'm going to play it faster so you guys don't have to be impatient.
Which was getting laid in real life. Real life. And you guys, it's real. The stuff that he teaches is real. So as far as my background goes, I am Asian and I'm 5'11" and I'm Filipino. And with my height, I do have a slight advantage, but it's not good enough. And one of the things that Coach John taught me was you need to have solid social skills, solid social calibrations, emotional intelligence, and game.
So for the students, they always say be more expressive, emote and feel and all that stuff. Like I said, their feelings only led to 5 Asian lay testimonials and 6 Indians. Maybe they look like a black man. And maybe they look like a positive stereotype. Maybe that's not the real reason. Maybe that type of game from game to emotions. Which drills your students focus the most on, social skills or social calibrations? That's a great question. During lockdown 1, this is lockdown 3, guys. All the students only work on Elite 30 because COVID wasn't all over the place. They did their 30-day challenge. So can you answer my question? I'm curious about travel. Okay, just ask the fucking question already. Jesus Christ. So I know you guys know I'm a great coach, but you guys don't know how good I am compared to others. So choose a coach based on their student results because ABCs and Queef and Casanova and them, they don't have enough to even, they're not in the same, they're like a little fly here. They're like, me, look at me too, right? I'm the best, I'm ferocious, I'm impregnable defense. They're hard. It's like, I don't even care. It's like Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs don't give a fuck. He just maintains their number 1 spot. So that's how it is. Even if Steve Jobs got screwed over, but eventually he became number 1 and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm mean like Steve Jobs when I teach my students. Not to the point of throwing chairs at them like Steve Jobs, but I digress.
But game was just only a small part of it. So when I first contacted John, it was through Skype.
So yes, to answer your questions, everyone did the 30-day challenge. That's the difference. Why they're getting more results, because at that time, they weren't blaming the Asians, the Chinese, for COVID-19. They're like, these Asians are, yeah, you got me laid, John. So did I really get you laid? Who are you? Which one of my students are you? So for them, they think China, these Chinese over here are not the same as China. So they got laid like crazy. I'm going to post their testimonials in the future here as a screenshot, even as a, what they call a placeholder. After that, lockdown 2 happened. So they had to go from social calibrations because it gives you 2.5 points each. 2.5. They needed the extra social skills. It all started with one student who was London student. Do you remember that guy? The guy with 10 fuck buddies? You know who I'm talking about, right? The London student who eventually got a girlfriend with a model. He fucked 2 models. He banged the sister's model sister. And then afterwards, after he got the girlfriend, he got out of the game. But he didn't want me as a coach at first. You know that? He didn't want me as a coach. He was more into white dating coaches. He was listening to all these London guys and all these other guys and Todd Valentine. He was about to kill himself at the end of the month. It was his last month on Earth. So, I said, motherfucker, Just give me your fucking Facebook background. Let me change it. You're cutting half your body out. Are you retarded? And I changed everything. I made everything cool. I had these algorithms that I secretly used for my students. And a woman came out that he was day gaming. She didn't give a shit about him before. She saw the background, and also I changed his avatar picture. I relit his pictures. I changed all the fucked up look of it. You know, all the sadness of his nearly suicidal face. And he got laid. He's like, what the fuck? And then he thought to himself, wait a minute. Of all these dating coaches, all these white dating coaches, only one dating coach has ever gotten me laid. And that was Johnny Elite. So he think to himself, maybe he's thought to himself that he's not going to listen to London day game coaches anymore. So for him, see if I can find his testimonial. The very first lay he got was a Brazilian. That means at that time, he only had social calibrations. He did not have social skills. He was actually getting a lot of rejections afterwards, and he didn't know why. So he said, I said, dude, get infield analysis by me. You have no idea how good am I. If my infield analysis can get a Filipino 5'4" guy 150 fucking lays, I can get this guy laid nonstop after the first one. He got like a few lays, and then he says, I'm going to get the second Skype. I get the second Skype. And the very thing I talked about over it, you can hear him over here. Okay, let's play it faster. This is him before. He starts to get younger and younger looking when he starts getting more confidence in results. Here it is. Here's the same chart.
Actually did the right results. And then all of a sudden I found John, and he actually got the results I wanted. Like, he literally told me the correct things, because before that I was very depressed and suicidal. I felt useless. I felt like there was no hope for me. And then all of a sudden I found John Lee, who gave a huge emphasis on social skills and social calibrations, and away from the gaming stuff.
Oh.
And then
he says social skills and social calibrations away from the gaming stuff. That means he didn't even learn game. This was his first actual, same day lay over here with a Brazilian. His very first.
He actually changed my world life. He changed my social media for a start. And the way I look, the way I dress, the way I do my hair. Because he knew that image is important. He knew that social skills is important. He knew that social calibrations, body language, tonality is important. And he then changed my social media, which got me a lay with a Chinese woman.
Yeah, so the social media saved his life because I just redid his whole thing and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? What is the fastest way to build muscles? Steroids is the fastest way to build muscles, or HGH. Other dating coaches would tell you to take steroids, especially Asians or whoever. If they tell you to take steroids, this is what you say to them. I'm not big, by the way. I have a little bit of man boobs. I'm working out. I got a little bit more weight. You tell them to go fuck themselves. If a dating coach tells you to take steroids because it's good for you to build muscles and to work out with it, you tell them to go fuck themselves. Whoever uses steroids, Queefing Casanova does, but whoever tells you to use steroids as a dating coach, day game coach, whoever tells you to use steroids, tell them to go fuck themselves. Because if they use steroids and they're talking about game, it's not all game. Shame on them. It's something else that's getting them results. Because if they wear a blazer and they cover up their muscles, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Shame on them. Never, ever let a dating coach tell you to use steroids. Ever. So I watched Alex from... You mean playing with dicks? Can you stop talking about playing with dicks? I have these Chinese students who couldn't stop sucking their dicks. He was using their text game and it's like, These are online game, text game, not the same as Daygame. So who gives a fuck what they think? John doesn't care. John Elite does not care because they're not day gamers. They should fuck off with their online shit and be gaming as shit. Hey, Trouble. It's like these fucking autistic Asians are like texting, hey, Trouble, hey, Trouble, hey, Trouble, hey, Trouble, hey, Trouble. And then you got the coach, right, with no fucking facial expressions whatsoever. Although he can change his tonality. It's like Asperger's. Yeah, technical. And it's like, what the fuck? Stupid.
And literally that happened within a day. And then after COVID, when COVID-19 hit, I started pressing the Elite 30, which I got off him. And I bought the Elite 30 and the playbook, the Elite playbook, in the Elite bundle. And I'm in the Elite inner circle. And I'm in purchase of getting the Elite access. And when I got Elite 30, I was practicing the fundamentals every day. Until the point where I would just practice my body language, my tonality, the opener. And then I approached this Brazilian on the street outside Burger King. And
Yeah, here's a picture of the Brazilian. You can kind of see her. She actually started losing a little bit of weight later on. She became hot as fuck. You know, a lot of the women he fucked at the very end were way hotter than self-proclaimed high leg count guys' girlfriends. It's like way higher. And even my other Latino student who's bald, he's like has like 4 or 5 fuck buddies, all from Daygame. They're all hotter under my coaching. Social calibrations, man. And he also got his Skype too. I have to ask him for his late testimonial, so I'll do that soon. In case you're watching this, yeah, I've been too busy trying to collect testimonials from everyone else for all their lays, and I'm gonna get around to you. If not, I'll just read out your screenshot testimonial, and and just we'll look at all the women, and they're hot.
bounced her straight to a car, to a bar for drinks. After his open up, a few social skills, opening questions, statements, comments, more stuff that works, a little bit of flirting from the playbook, and bounced her. And then
Okay. But besides that, right? Besides him, look at the old man. Do you remember him? Maybe you guys didn't forget, or did forget. But this also worked for the old man. Before, he was just using game and not social skills, social calibrations. And guess what happened? He got rejected. And he finally, after Kaizen, he banged a 21-year-old way above his look scale, 8.5 out of 10. And in Germany, where he banged her, most women there are old and ugly. Or hipsters in Berlin. They're almost 99% hip. No, I mean, at least over 90% hipsters. Not everyone, but most of the women have these hipster kind of thing. That's what makes them easier in Berlin. So it is the biggest hipster place next to Commercial Broadway in Vancouver, and next to Portland in the United States is Berlin, the biggest hipster place in the world. All these 3 places are the biggest hipster place. Commercial Broadway is right next to Vancouver, like on the way there. So that's the old man. You guys know who he is, right? He's the bald guy. Where the fuck is he? Yeah, he's here somewhere. But for the bald guy, he's out of the game. Remember, like, he bangs that 21-year-old, then he bangs that 25-year-old, and show me the face. She's fucking hot. Do sunglasses help or hurt? I have light sensitive. Don't use sunglasses if you can avoid it. But if you have no choice, then just tell her that. If you can avoid it somehow, then don't use it. This is not like about your fucking problems. I'm talking about something about coaches that you should choose. Because this old man chose me as a dating coach. Right over here. You see that? On the top? A bald, ugly, fat, 5'7" guy. And he bangs like, he says the second woman was 7 out of 10. She's actually like close to 7.7 out of 10 actually. He misread. As I seen her face, he sent me a photo and says, don't show anyone this, John. She sent me a nude pic when she was on vacation. I was like, holy shit. Like, seriously? I thought she was going to be less attractive. It's like, well, do I talk to a girl home from the first approach? How do I take a girl home from the first approach? Extremely easy. You dress super well to such a way that white women When you walk down the street, we'll all look at you. When you can do that, you can walk down the street and all the Asian women doesn't look at you. You are calibrated in fashion, Johnny Elite fashion. From there, you're going to go indirect. Okay. And you're going to have a perfect body language. That's what builds the attraction. And every time she gives you attitude, and for me, if my senses get overwhelmed, I don't read them too well, but when I inner coach them, I hear it perfectly. Every time a woman gives you attitude, she goes, yeah, go. You got to tease her. God, what's wrong with you? Like, tonality has to go up. And she's back on the line. It's like sales, like Jordan Belfort. Every time she's like really talking a lot, then you got to flirt. You understand that? You got to lower your voice and say something flirty. And then she'd be like, and she's back on the line. It's no longer platonic with your body language and everything. You need to have a sexual undertone. And you got to start moving her, maneuvering her. And your comfort's very important. So all the timing is from the women. Whenever she invests, you flirt. And when you're instigating, you flirt and touch. You got to seed the sexuality, seed the maneuver, and objection looping, objections dealing. Over and over. And you got to escalate in between, flirt and touch. You don't just go up to level 4, right? Level 1, touch. Level 2, touch. Level 3, flirt. Level 4, flirt or touch. No. There's a 5 levels. You want to talk about DHV stories related to like things that she'll like, especially around your frame. Do you want to fight from the boyfriend frame? You want to, which is romantic sexual bullshit my students don't use. Or do you want to fight from the same day late frame, which you'll be telling stories related to it? You see what I mean? She has to like you, trust you, and be willing to go home with you. So you need to attack those objections. Nuke them. You understand that? That means there'll be stories in between. Very indirect, not like try hard. Like, look at me, I'm a DJ and I do cool shit in my lifestyle. That's nice. No. I'm talking about like nuke those objections. And by the time she wants to come home with you, no matter what, you say, here's my ID. You know, if you don't trust me, go to the cops. I won't do anything you don't want to do. She holds on to your ID and she'll give it back. See, everything's fine when she's back at home. And then you start working it. You sexualize the stories. You don't always just stand next to her and try to do this bedroom escalation shit. Because she's going to eject with pressure and release. You need some distance. I can't talk about the secret new technologies of my students that don't use alcohol. But there's a pressure and release, but with not just like mental pressure and release, a physical pressure and release. I cannot talk about it. A lot of this stuff is top secret. Without alcohol, as long as you sexualize it, you nuke it. Maybe you have a Kama Sutra book over there and she's reading it and sexualizes it 100%. And she's like, what the fuck is this? And then she gets horny. Then the real objections come out. You see that? It's not an emotional objection. There's no such thing as an emotional objection. You nuke it. It's always about nuking it with. Once you clear all the objections. If you're Asian, you might have 10 objections. If you're short. If you're tall and strong like their students, they're 5. You might have 3 objections. If you might as well be training a Jan lifestyle. I mean, tall, strong, bulky Asian. If they got 7 layers on a boot camp, good for them. But my short, skinny Asians, Filipino guy got 7 lays in 3 weeks. Okay, it takes longer. But however, he's not a positive stereotype. So he gets more objections and stuff. Once you deal with all the objections, right, then you deal with the bedroom stuff. But the thing is, at some point, you have to go all in. But before the pressure and release thing, and, you know, physically, without alcohol, when you see the sex, is it before the pull or after the pull? See, it really depends because it's a chart. It's a 3-step chart. So if you maneuver her back home, right? You see that? You can still see the sexuality. You have to nuke the sexuality. Maybe you can put the wallet on her hands, the keys. Let me check something and put a condom right on her hand. You see that? And she's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? And then you put it away. Now you can deal with the objections. But that can happen even beforehand. It's just like you can sexualize the texting. I've done that with a girl before. Can you wear some yoga pants and stuff? You have like, you know, you look like you're very fit. So make sure the next date you have to wear yoga pants, right? And my Pakistani mentor, you know what he says? I know I should not give this away. But he says to the women over text. He's not like playing with dicks. The women ask him out. He has a 95% of the women coming out. He says, you have to wear panties, or you cannot wear panties. She said, what? If you want to meet me, you cannot wear panties. You have to make sure you don't wear panties. And she's like, okay, whatever. And she begs to ask him out. Nobody's heard of this shit before. This is completely different than the industry. But those are some of the ways that you're still sexually seeing it there. You see that? And dealing with objections. So he just has to maneuver her out. And he begs nothing but 99999. Not tens, not eights, just 99999 for an unattractive guy. Because the social skills. All the naturals have social skills and body language, which they will not talk about for social calibrations. Because it's the half-truth pill. It's like CNN. They won't tell you this shit. All right. So besides that, let's continue where I left off. Eventually, the Filipino student went to another coach. And that ended at 150 lays because it was around 180 or something. If he started with me with 30 something, then it's roughly around 150. So he does have some muscles on him and his fashion is great. But he wasn't as emotional. He wasn't he was expressive, but he wasn't super expressive. He knew how to flirt. He knew how to change the tonality a little bit. But it was more of the same as my Pakistani mentor. They both have a sexual undertone in their inner game. Every time he was using the social skill flow drill for this Filipino guy, even though I didn't teach it to him, he always had a sexual undertone. No matter what he says, it sounds like he's sexualizing it, but he's not doing it on purpose. He always just used social skills with the sexual undertone. It's genius. You don't need this attraction building like crazy because the body language that he has, which is the best of all my students, already builds the attraction. He just needs to sexualize it with his tonality. Don't you get it? So stop listening to mystery because you'll be building attraction, comfort, seduction. Fuck that. Burn it all down. All right. So what else I want to say? And also the Filipino guy. Let's see. So let's look at some of the new videos that I've posted. All right. I'm not sure if they're all posted correctly, but the first one was for new screenshots. These are placeholders. The first guy over here is a Korean guy. See up here? This guy. He's Korean. You don't make fun of the Koreans. Yeah. So he works out a little bit. So for him, he got 6 lays on the boot camp and 1 girlfriend. And also he got 1 lay when he moved out of BC. He fingered a chick. He's Mr. Finger Fucker. He once he fingers a chick, that's his way of sexualizing it. He's pretty much autistic. So that's an extreme way to sexualize it. But he fingers them, and then they get up to the point of no return, and he fucks them. Sometimes he does this during street game and stuff, and night game too. But for his day game, he got a girlfriend out of it. So he wanted to marry her, and I was like, no, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. And I was like, whatever. And back then, I used to talk about the height. If you're above 5'9", it's super easy with shoes and everything. And he knew that. He was exactly 5'9", but he just kept getting mentally fucked up over his height. I told him, you're the perfect height, man. You're just right on the line. I know. So, yeah. The second student over here is a Korean guy. So, another Korean guy, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, we used to all hang out. This guy over here, he was actually intermediate. He actually got results, right? But one thing that he got fucked up over, maybe too much cortisol, was that he always had this worse approach anxiety. He always walks with the women, but he had something called the chode game, which is very interesting, a beta game. He'll act beta on purpose just to trap the women to get her back home. And then he'll make his move. So it's like what we call the wind style. There's fire, there's earth, there's all these other elements. Water, like Justin Wayne. Oh yeah, I'm acting beta, but I'm touching a lot. Yeah. And earth, trying to flirting, teasing, connecting, and romantic sexual bullshit. And which only works for 5 Asians and 6 Indians. I mean, is that see worship marketing? It does not work. Worship marketing, when you worship a dating coach, there is no guarantee that you are going to be like number 6, or you're going to be number 8 for a Queefing Casanova, or number 7 for a JT trans student. You see that? Worshipping is not the answer. A lot of you have spent most of your life worshiping. You go from one dating coach to the next. You go from one dating coach to the next. Most of you have been exactly 8 years in the game. I know. 8 years. Most of you. You've been through so many systems. You start with RSD, right? All of you. I bet you. I know you. Every one of you started with RSD. Am I right? How do I know that? Everyone here in the crowd. And then afterwards, you went to a couple white people. Have you been to OC, California? And what was your experience with the girls here? And what do you think about them? I have been to OC, and I have been to like California. So I didn't do too much of the day gaming. I was mostly there just to meet Dan Pena. So, but I have noticed in Los Angeles, okay, it's kind of funny because everyone either yells at you like, What's going on? Hi, how are you doing? What can I help you with? Or they're very polite, right? They're like, oh, that's really nice. You're Asian. Oh, are you from China? Or are you like, oh, you're from Canada? Oh, it's either one or the other. It's either, what the fuck? And then the next one's always like, nice. Oh, yeah, hey. The most polite. They talk to you for 20 minutes over there. When you do day gaming and stuff for the students, the women will talk to you for 20 fucking minutes, like simple pickup. What the fuck? It's like an automatic 20-minute conversation with them. Or they're just pissed off. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's how it's like over there when I was there. They're either very apprehensive or they're very, very friendly. But now I heard LA has turned into a shithole after COVID. Full of homeless people now, and so stuff like that. I don't think the girls are super hot there, to be honest. The hottest area is probably LA with all the celebrities and all that. All the women there want to be strippers, models. That's probably where the hottest women will be. But in most of the other places, it's going to be ratchet as fuck. So lots of people there, like Vietnamese, Filipinos, and a lot of like streetwear, a lot of streetwear, a lot of gangs there and shit. So that's why I think about LA. I actually enjoyed going to LA last time when I was there. I really did enjoy it. I was treated very, very well by people there. So maybe one day I'll buy some property there. I don't know. I always wanted to buy a property there, like a mansion or something. Yeah. So I'll think about it. Doesn't mean I want to move there. Maybe on vacation, but I don't want to live there now. And the taxes are very expensive. All right, let's continue. So yeah, that's the Korean student. The next one I post, yeah, this guy got a girlfriend. We used to do Daygame a little bit, and he went to a place called, I think it's Hanam or a K something like market, Korean market or some shit. I forgot the name. But before he was very afraid, and that's when I came up with this approach anxiety kind of system, progressive desensitization. Thanks to him, I was able to develop that. But he taught me a lot about social skills. He preached a lot in muscles too. That guy was huge. I'm not going to say how he acquired his muscles, but that guy is fucking huge for an Asian. He's 5'10" and a half, fucking full of big muscles. He's huge. So, but yeah. So that's one student, but he just needed help with that one piece. That led to 2 girlfriends, actually. So the next guy is a half Filipino guy. So this one's a new one. Over here. So back then I used to teach a lot of social calibrations. Come on, you fucking camera. I gotta get a new camera. See, I had the old K-pop hair when I was teaching him. This is around like 2015 or something like that. I don't know, 2016. Wait, but I think it's 2015. Yeah, he's a Filipino guy, but he's half white. Do you have any good dating and travel advice? I forgot to ask you. Yeah, just get your pole location as close as possible to the Daygame location. That's the best advice I can give you for Airbnb. The magic will happen there. As close as humanly fucking possible. Less than 5-minute walk. That's the best advice. Why make it harder on yourself? Okay. So for this, half Filipino guy, everyone used to make fun of him. Everyone used to make fun of him because they're like, he talks very chilled. He's like, "Hey man, how are you doing, man? Okay. Oh, so you teach Daygame, huh? Oh, I really want to take your boot camp then. I want to learn. Oh man, that sounds awesome. I'll see you on the weekends." That much? Okay. It's not, I can afford it. That's great. So when he was that chilled, and Euro girls nicer and cooler than US girls, holy shit, like fucking 900 times nicer and more feminine. Holy shit, what the fuck happened in the United States and Canada girls? Entitled as fuck. You're more feminine over there, except for London. Like way more feminine. Holy, like it's like going back to the 1960s or something. They're more conservative and feminine. Something's wrong with the United States women in Canada these days. So, oh yeah, for this student, so he got too fucked buddies out of it. So he was able to make his chilled voice into an asset. So that's a new testimonial, and I'll have to assemble it. So my video editor, I haven't contacted him in a while. My video editor is Filipino, and he works for a television station there, and he's kind of busy. So, however, if I contact him again, I can assemble these testimonials properly, say some stuff, and read out loud. That'd be cool. But it's just a placeholder for now. The next guy is a guy in Thailand. This guy. He's got 3 lays. The women were not super hot at the time, but they're white, 2 whites and 1 Latina. Eventually, he repped another dating coach, a white one that he was sucking the dick off of. Not very cool. Feminine destroy American. Yeah, exactly. So, girls ever approach you, and what are your tips on getting girls? Why would they want to approach you? They don't usually approach you. They'll be in your proximity. That's their way of showing it. They'll just stand around you, waiting to be talked to, but they don't approach you. Unless you have that specific cologne that my Pakistani mentor says, never tell people what it is. That's the only time you'll ever get women to approach and mix it with pheromones. Oops, I should not have told you guys that. But yeah, that's when teenage girls approach you or older women, like grandmas. Somehow their system over that stuff, they go crazy. But with this cologne, if you don't mix it together, it doesn't work by itself. It just smells like musky as shit. Well, you should know this shit. So yeah, but when he was sucking on another dating coach's cock by worshipping, he repped another one. But he says, "Look, I still giving you your 3 testimonials." I was like, "Dude, it's just a screenshot. Can you make a video one?" He's like, so now I'm finally gonna post his screenshot testimonial. No. What percentage of Asian guys do you think gets approached by non-Asian girls? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Women do not approach guys. It's not socially acceptable. It's not like Tyler who gets approached a couple of times a day, even if he's not dressed well. Come on now. Okay, the next guy over here is a Chinese guy. See here? There's a picture of a baby over here. So why is there a picture of a baby? You see that? He's a father now. So one of my students procreated. Actually, a lot of my students procreated. I don't tell you this stuff. Some of them are married and some of them are engaged. But he's a father. The mother is a Latina. She's a Colombian. He's tall. Usually Latinas will flake on Asian guys. It's always been a running joke among me and other Asian POAs. We're like, who got flaked on by which Latina now? Unless you look Filipino, right? Then they don't flake on you because they look Filipinos look kind of Mexican. It's either you look Filipino or you need to be like really tall, like Queefing Casanova height and muscles and looks, then they're into you. So, or in Miami, they're okay with whoever, you know. There's a lot of Latinas there. So, but usually they flake more than any other ethnicities. I've dated them all. Latinas, like, if I were the same person, I was like 6 foot something, they would not flake. I heard that you're ugly in a country, you can get another girl, and girls thinking you're good looking. Is that true? Latinos love Pakistanis. Okay. I heard if you're ugly in your country, can you go to another country and get girl? You have to think about the status maxing, right? So if you're Asian, you're ugly. If you go to Mexico or something, right? And you go on Tinder and stuff, you dress reasonably well, then you can have that foreigner status, money status advantage. And you can also have the exotic advantage. Does that make sense? So you can have multiple advantages doing that. You can go to Europe, but you still need to at least work out a little bit and be tall. Wear elevator shoes. You have to be above 5'9". You know, if you got some muscles, that'll be great. So, have I ever Skyped with you before, Joe Montana? Are you that engineer motherfucker who want to kill himself? Is that you? Come on, be honest. That's Joe Montana. Who knows who Joe Montana is? Only the old timers like myself. No, bro, we never met. Okay, it must be somebody else. But Joe Montana is an older football player, a quarterback. Only us people who are older knows that. So I'm just saying, like, us older people know that. Younger people don't know who they are. But if you're a Joe Montana fan, he's San Francisco, I believe. 49ers? No, is it Joe Montana, 49ers? That's way back, man. You're a northern motherfucker. All right. So that's the student. And the last one I posted was the 5'4" Filipino. 150 lays. 7 lays right after the Skype. And then after more lays, right there. He's banging models and strippers. But yeah, it's been quite an improvement. He's quite an improvement. So that was the best student, the guy who did not resist. But like I said, he has the same hairstyle as all my other students before. Blazers, heel lifts, social skills in the social circle. We're not talking about PUA fucking gamey shit. But yeah. So I'll post another one by tonight, maybe, if I feel like it. If not, then, you know, whatever. Then it'll be 31 there, and then I'll add more and more on the playlist. But it's like, what are the easiest cities for Asian guys to hook up? Germany, Poland, Colombia, and Mexico. So, and Australia, by far Australia. Like super easy. And where else? Toronto maybe, but not for like Daygame, more like for Tinder. And yeah, that's what I can think of right now. So maybe for you, consider going to Colombia and trying not to get kidnapped. And just go on Tinder there. Get some decent pics and swipe. You can use your advantages. So yes, those are some of the students. And right now for my Indian playlist, there's only 9 videos of students. But that's not the end of it, because by the time I'm done, I'll have more than 6. So next time you want to choose a dating coach, look at how many of them in their own race did they have. And look at Justin Wayne. He only has like 1 Asian. How many black, right, does Justin Wayne have for student testimonials? They got black looking, but how many blacks? 1. What? Yeah, he got 1 black guy who looks like a Predator, the movie Predator, with the big dreadlocks, right? That big You know, the guy with the big claws and stuff, that alien. That's what he looks like. And he's a dating coach for the company. I know Australia is good for Asian guys, but isn't Australia like the US and the US sucks? No. But a lot of Australia has a lot of Asian women too. Unfortunately, there's a lot of Asians there. It's like infested with Asians, like they're just flowing in like carp, you know, the Chinese. Like carp, you know, they don't want them there in Australia because their Asians are like carp, an invasive species. Now I was just joking around. but some places do have more white women, but when you do find a white woman, they'll be more into you. So I think in those places, in Melbourne will be good. And that's why I recommend. So for Asians, Melbourne. So let's see what else. I think that's what I want to really say today. So now you guys know who to choose as a dating coach. You just look at the fucking student results. So I happen to be the same race as a lot of people, right? That are Asians. But you look at my clientele. You think Asians are my biggest audience? Every race is my biggest audience. I'm one of those coaches that trains every fucking race. They all come to me. Latinos, I got Latinos too. I got to post more testimonials from them. Blacks, right? Middle Easterns, whites, blacks, Asians, all types of, like everyone trains under me. I'm saying that if you're asking yourself whether or not you should train with your same race, just when you look at ABC's attraction or you look at Queefing Casanova, right? Almost 95 or 98% of their students are Asians. We need to free up the Asians for other dating coaches. Because if you got low self-esteem, you're going to go to ABCs of attraction first. John is a master dating coach. He'll get you laid. Get his course. Yeah, awesome. Where do you get laid from? Was it my course? Like, which one was it? Was it the playbook or Elite 30? I never trained you, but you got laid from my coaching. Not my coaching, but from my courses. But you see that? Because ABCs, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, is that they have this inner game shit. And the problem with the inner game shit is that it's like RSD. It attracts the lowest self-esteem people, the Asians that don't believe in themselves. This is their audience. The guys who, if they got a kiss on the cheek, great. And once in a while, out of like 20 students, maybe one student gets laid. And only 6 times have they ever got laid for the Daygame. I've watched the company for a long time. So I know the rough estimations around 6. That's it. So that problem with Asians is that they keep going to these coaches because they have a night game course. They don't believe in themselves. Because the Asians don't believe in themselves, they need a backup plan. And that's the problem. When you have a backup plan, then it becomes like, you know. And then they have a short student in Miami who polled 6 times. Polled 6 times. I love that. Poll. They keep using the word poll. How do you know if you got laid or not? What if you got laid 0 times but polled 6 times? We don't know. This is why I post proof of my students and their lays. Because I want to see it. That's why I post it. So in Australia, what makes it different because it's Anglo speaking. Australia is very different because Australia is so easy that if you make enough approaches, you automatically get laid. Just go to Melbourne, just spam approach, and eventually a woman will fall on your dick. And even UMP's there, you know, like a stupid company they're like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's like they think they're so great, and they have 50 lay testimonials, which is not bad, by the way. 50 is higher, but but versus like fucking 485 now for my lay poll testimonials. 50 doesn't put a dent in it. And even with other dating coaches right here, they have like 30 or something, but they claim they have extra 20. Even 50 don't compare to 485, because it's not the same fucking system. It's very different. Look at these people. I even got they got mostly night game stuff. Nobody compares to me. So if they're in that 30 range, there's in the 50. This is the highest they got. They got another Jewish coach in New York that got around like 30 late testimonials. You don't see the faces of the women that students bang, but most of their students are tall, good-looking guys. they get like a lot of results. So I don't know why they brag about New York results. They're like, look at my course, Asians help in New York, right? One of them, yeah, one of them. The rest are like in fucking Europe or some other countries. And if they're on this 6 months to like money grab program, in my opinion, they'll eventually get laid just by approaching more in 6 months. So it's a money grab. It's just my students, there's no 6 months program for coaching. I have a year program for consulting, but it's not a coaching program. It's just 2 pieces of advice a day. That's it. It's not like an actual coaching. So, but everything else, the shortest one is like Kaizen, 1 month, and 3 months of proficiency. So if it takes 6 months, right, then that's like SMVing it. None of that shit counts. Good evening, zombies. Listen to John. He's the best on the planet. Oh, yeah. Marco's part of Elite Access now. Use it every single day. So, and try to get things done faster. I think the most important thing the best advice I can give to other ethnicities and stuff during COVID-19, right, is I was going to talk to you about this. What do you think about JT and Casanova? Okay, let's answer this question that I have not answered yet. Okay? Let's answer this question that I have not answered. Okay. So for JT Tran, you see he has 6 late testimonials. If you didn't fucking open your eyes already for Daygame, 6. He has tons for a night game. Queef and Casanova around 7. Lucky at 8. But 7. I taught one of his students. He got laid in like fucking 2 weeks or something. After a dry spell, he went back to Toronto and then got a dry spell. I got him laid. It's like, fuck. Just body language. So, yeah. Fuck yeah. That's what I think about them. I think they need to free up the Asians. The Asians should not only think that Queef and Casanova is the only option. And, I mean, you can't just say, oh, because Asians love to worship tall dating coaches. They're very impressionable, just like the Indians. The Indians need like the tallest, strongest, whitest dating coaches or blackwash. They need as much worship as possible, these 2 races. They need to worship hard, man. These guys are almost like women. These Asian men are like Asian women. They love them tall and they love them white, right? They love to sleep on their chest, right? Even sleeping on the chest of Queef and Casanova, these Asians, they feel comforted, you know? That's how they're like, because they don't believe in themselves and they think it's all game. Oh, who cares if you're 6'2" and he's like steroid, like, you know, junkie. Like, it's like, gives a shit, right? It's like fucking. And he does take steroids. I mean, like, he makes a video on it. But I'm just saying, are these the only 2 options? But John, these Asian students should not just go to. No, listen to this. I don't get Asian students that they get. I wish I got their students. RSD has more Asian students than anyone. More than Queef and Casanova and JT Tran. Holy shit. Yeah, you consider yourself whitewashed? Who are you? Who are you? Did you try to contact me recently? Are you one of my old students? Because I told you, if you are that who I think you are, remember how you try to screw me over? I told you I don't give 3rd chances. If that's you. Yeah, I don't want you here, dude. I don't want you here. I have a bad feeling about you. Remember in the Tinder time? So let's just talk then. Okay? Remember that time when I told you that around that woman that we'll just talk here. You don't have to say anything, okay? Just listen. So we can have a conversation for once. I did block you on the other stuff. Okay, ready to listen? I taught you one lesson on the boot camp. Remember I told you, like, do not let women push you around, but you thought she was really into you because, you know, I'm not sure if you're autism, but you couldn't read her facial expression. She was ripping you apart. She was rolling her eyes. So I saw that and I was like, dude, this student's getting, you're stuck there. So you're off the line. Does that make sense? So what was happening is that when I told you that, you snapped at me. And I have a lot of Vietnamese students during COVID that gets very emotional and they get offended. So it's not just you. I know you may not be born in Vietnam, but you snapped just like them. So, and you had a meltdown, an autistic meltdown. But the next day, right? You still pulled, right? Which is great. But some guy sneaked into your fucking hostel pretending to be a tourist. He might be a local. And that's where you should be snapping. Like at him. You know what I mean? Like you should not let him push you around because you're a nice guy. Do you remember that? Like I really wanted to. That was a good lesson. This is one of those lessons that could get you so many lays, man. To my old student. So you don't say anything. So I don't delete you, okay? Don't cause any trouble with me, okay? Don't fuck with me. That's all I'm saying. But what happened was, remember on Tinder, you were with a Korean girl, right? Remember that? So what happened back then with a Korean girl was, you said if I don't take off my trousers or boxers, right, I have disappointed John Wayne. Do you remember that? And you didn't do it. You couldn't pull the trigger. You know, you couldn't pull the trigger for some reason. You're too nice, and I think that's a problem. I believe this problem, right, the sticking point, okay, has haunted you for all these years. Oh shit! I remind it now. Yeah. So this sticking point has haunted you for many years, right? And you got angry at me. You start calling me out, but I was like, dude, I fucking same day laying in front of you, right? So, and I dated another blonde in front of you. So shut the fuck up, right? At that time, I thought it was very disrespectful. If you apologize to me, all is good. I'll unblock you for everything. But I don't know if your intent is hostile or not. Okay, I know your intent was hot, but I was very hurt by that. And then you called me out in the second time. You know how in my policy, I don't give people third chances. One time, a 17-year-old student, Latino, he's fucking stole my watch. Sorry, okay. I'll unblock you from everything else, okay? I apologize for avoiding you all this time, okay? But please learn the lessons here, okay? That you have to flirt, okay? So I'm going to tell you what you're missing in your game, okay? You're a nice guy and your social skills is very good, okay? So I root for those helping Asian men. Thank you. Okay, your social skills is very good, right? And you're a nice guy. You have to go back to your old fashioned. I saw some of your Facebook pictures, right, recently, and you, as soon as you finished the boot camp, you went back to the old style, right? Damn, you have a good. I remember everything about you, man. You know, I remember like as yesterday. You have a good jawline, right? You were in shape, and I think I saw your Facebook recently. Like you're taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Are you and Marco friends? Maybe you guys can be wingman together or something. I don't know. But do you guys do jiu-jitsu together? Like, I'm not sure. But regardless of that, you need to go back to the whitewash fashion, the hairstyle, right? As before. You cannot go back to the Korean. So when you try to do it your own way, a lot of my students with lower self-esteem, right? They always try to grab the steering wheel and try to run it. You need to find back that fashion. And you look pretty damn good before with the fashion because the haircut and everything looks good on you. And you're very whitewashed. I think a good jacket would be good. But you're in the area, right, where the logistics are shit. Very shit logistics. I know where you live. So I'll have a lot of students there, tons. When you look at a lot of the boot camps or testimonials, a lot of them are from the same place. You need to figure out logistics. You need to move to a place that's really close to the malls. You know what I'm talking about. There's a big mall it starts with a D where you live. Right? You need to start moving to there. And you need to start having more of a you need to be less of a nice guy because it's more of a behavioral game, okay? Women are looking for the evolutionary traits of an alpha male. And you always just social comfort. You do a lot of back and forth social comfort. Does that make sense? You're always connecting with women. Your body language, because at the time when you train with me, right, I didn't have Elite 30. So you need to go back to Elite 30 and you need to master the body language because that's what builds the attraction. If you like to play a more natural style of social skill game, social skills is only 2.5 points. Okay? 2.5 points is not that much. If you mix it with the social calibrations, it's better. And you have to not be afraid of sexualizing it, like to the max, nuking it. You know what I mean? And you also need to call the women out at times. But you need to be able to tease and flirt at the right times. Because your tonality is sort of like very, very, like a lot of the Vietnamese, very monotone. Does that make sense? You need to have variations, but I don't mean like over expressiveness, but I mean like you need to, like, when you're teasing, it's kind of like higher and faster, right? It's like, oh my God, what's wrong with you, right? Remember that girl in the boot camp? Like, oh my God, why are you rolling your eyes? Are you having a seizure? It sounds funny, doesn't it? But it wasn't because of the facial expressions or whatever. See, once you change the body language for a lot of Vietnamese people, right? For a lot of my students, they don't actually have any emotions. They have feelings. Like, you are very sensitive. So you're more of a feelings guy, but not an emotions guy. So feelings is kind of like if you put your hands on the stove and it feels like it's like searing, right? That's an emotion, because not emotion, but it's a feeling, because it's heat. You can feel the heat. You understand that? So it's a stimuli. You're more reacting to the stimuli. And for you, I think it's better if you you got to think about, you can't let people push you around, especially women and other guys. That guy, I would have told you, right? If I knew he tried to invade your hostel, right? To grab him by the fucking neck or his shirt and throw him out. Really? Say, get the fuck out of my room. You didn't pay for shit. You need to stand up. You just bow down. So you have the cortisol problem. That's why I realized that's what's causing the trigger. Okay, Julian? That's what's causing the triggering. So for you, I want you to start taking ashwagandha. The other one's secret, right? You cannot share it with others. Maybe I'll tell you. There's a second one that helps with the adrenal glands. That's a new technology now that I'm not sharing with the YouTube. So you need to get the adrenals under control. So it doesn't, you went to freeze mode. You understand that? So it's fight, flight, and freeze, right? You always go into freeze mode. Whenever you want to escalate, you freeze up. Just like in the bedroom with that Tinder, with that Korean chick, right? You froze up. You see that? Froze. So it's a cortisol problem. This is, yes. So that's what's causing a lot of things, is making you emotional or feeling a lot. But because of the self-esteem thing, you have great social skills, right? It could be improved. But I think overall, if you don't have Elite 30, right? How about this? I'll give you Elite 30 since you took my boot camp. If you get that laid, make me a video testimonial. Deal? I can offer that because you took my boot camp. I want to make sure everyone gets laid. You get that laid quickly. You practice every day in the mirror. I'll unblock you right now. Okay. So, see, this is on WhatsApp, so unblock. All right. You can talk to me when I'm not busy. But you're going to work on the mirror every single day for 30 days. It's kind of like day one of your boot camp, you know? You pulled 4 times, I believe, in the boot camp, which is good. But I think you got to flirt and touch. The timidity, right? So imagine in evolutionary psychology, it's like behavioral game, right? It's like if you have the right body language, it's alpha. The right social skills make you fit in the tribes, which you did, but you didn't have the body language to build the attraction. So they liked you, they're willing to go home with you, but they're more reacting to stimuli more than actual physical attraction. And yeah, I think the fashion thing is a big thing. I don't like the way you dress afterwards. I don't know what happened, but your eye for whatever you're dressing all these years have cockblocked you. You gotta stop being a nice guy, right? You cannot have these meltdowns. So once you get the cortisol under control, the emotions are under control, I believe a lot of the right feelings will come out in the body language. I'm pretty sure like you have the elite playbook, right? So that was like way back then when you used to know me as gaming elite or something when you sign up. But then I became John Wayne. So I think mixing them together would be helpful. There's a new version of the playbook with a new commentary, right? If you have it, if you have my old product, I can update you. So I want you to try to get the next lay. And where you come from, right? It's a very towny kind of mentality. So social skills, it's a very important in the tribes. But your feeling is very hard. But the more whitewash you are, like I have so many students late there, you wouldn't believe. Like if I were pointing out which testimonials that come from your city, maybe the 17-year-old student used to live there. Some of the a lot of the students here, some of the students are engaged or from there. 2 of them engaged from there. One half Filipino, half white, and another tall guy with 3 lays in a row. And he's engaged, but he's from your city or from your place. Not only that, there's a lot of other students. The new Vietnamese student who's like the guy you talk about, he's there too. Lots of people are there. So there's many POAs in your area, but the only thing that works is to be as whitewashed. Like I'm talking about, like wearing, I want you to wear back your dress shirt that you had before. You understand that? The one you got at Zara, that looks good. And we're gonna update the pants now. There's a new pants that my students are wearing. I cannot disclose it here, but it's very, very whitewashed. I know I dressed a little bit Asian washed today. My hair is growing too long, but yeah, everyone is moving here because in California, right, the tax laws and stuff, people want to get out of the California. It's too expensive to live there, so they're migrating over to your location, which we're not going to disclose. So I think it's good that I saw your Facebook recently. I think you're doing jiu-jitsu or something. I think that's very good for you for the mental toughness, right? You need to develop a little bit more grit. Don't be too thin-skinned about things, and you got to start having body language that's more alpha. Because sometimes you hunch a little bit, you freeze up, you go into the fetal position, right? You always need to stand up like the other Filipino student, which I'll post more of his testimonial in the future. He's always confident. His chest is always out. His chin's always up. But when you do that, you feel timid, right? You always feel like, this doesn't feel right. You need to embrace that. So I want you to have a second name or something, right? I can give you a second name. Like think about maybe a second name like Steven, right? Don't go with the Asian name because you remember your Asian past. You need to split your personality into 2, right? Here's your own name and here's Steven. You can choose whatever name you want, but something similar, right? So you like Julian, then go with Julian, right? Or Steven or whatever. It doesn't matter, but pick a different name and have a split personality, kind of like the movie Fight Club. Eventually, you become that person. You get it? Because if you go with your original name, right? This is my second. Yeah, okay, that's good. But you have to develop a second personality because it's not because you don't want to be who you are. It's because you have a lot of baggage from the old you. Does that make sense? You guys know me, my real name, Gary, right? When people call me Gary, I remember like a lot of the things I had to go through to become, Johnny Elite. I get a lot of bad memories. So don't use that as your name together. What I'm saying is that you should mix them up or not use the other part of your name. Does that make sense? And you should have a new personality with it. And whenever it comes out, you go back to the old you. You call yourself by the other name in your mind until you can split back into the new one. Because a new personality, right, is going to be more alpha. He's going to dress better. And he's going to have a mindset that like a 2.0 version of you, a more alpha version that is behavioral game. The future is not more game, it's more behavioral game and social skills, evolutionary psychology. So what I want you to impart to you, right, which I did, was the reason why I told the other women, right, that she wasn't that good looking and, like, who does she think she is? And I pulled you away, right? And that made you angry at the time. It was more a behavioral game. An alpha male will not tolerate such behavior. She was just mocking you and you couldn't see it. You got really angry at me. It was just unfair. It's so clear, man. She saw no value in you, rolling her eyes, and you kept going at it. So by developing the behavioral game of an alpha male, it's going to help you a lot in Daygame. So you think about the Filipino students. Why did he get 150 lays? The reason why my Filipino students can kick the show of the other races is because they're like a pit bull, right? They'll grab onto it, they'll grab onto it. They won't fucking let go, right? Until the woman's home. You need to develop that. I know you walk with her home and stuff, but you need to have that killer instinct. I don't mean like killer in a bad way, but you need to have that behavioral game, that body language, that chillness of a natural, which the ashwagandha and stuff can help you with. You need to slow down your speech. You need to flirt. You need to not care what people think. Think about it this way. This is a new mindset. Who cares what people thinks about you? Right? Number one, that's hard for you to do because you're a people pleaser. Number two, you are the most important in that interaction between you and the women. You are the most important. You're like, what? I am? Yeah, you're Asian. You feel like you're not the most important, but you're equal or better. So if you have these two mindsets that you don't care what people think and you're equal, your game will skyrocket because that behavior will correct itself. Do you understand that? That behavior will correct itself. So what I was trying to teach you on the last day of that boot camp, I wish you had one more day, but on that very last day was that lesson, man, haunted you so many times. Did you know you had another like friend? I won't say who he is, okay? But he came to train under me. He came to train under me. He claims he knows you. He's a Latino guy. He's 5'11", a super handsome, good-looking guy. Don't say who he is. But I think you know who he is. He also bought my courses, and right now he's going to school, so that's why he couldn't train. But he says he knew you. I'll call him out, like, why aren't you using your fucking Skype, right? And he's like, you know what? I know you. I know one of your students. He says he knew who you are. And his name starts with O, ends with a T. You know who he is. That guy. Yeah, he's one of my students. Don't say who he is. He's one of my students now. So he's one of the people that 1% of the RSD victims that actually got results because he's good looking. But yeah, he told me that he knew you, and I said, is he still a nice guy? Too nice, right? Women like kind of take advantage of his niceness. And he says yes. He's not trying to talk behind your back, but but that's when I knew that you haven't changed. That this lesson has been haunting you over and over. He asked me about you before he bought. Yes, and thank you for putting in a good word for me. So, however, saying that, right? However, saying that, do you see how this lesson? He told me all these years, right? That this lesson is haunting you. There was once a TV show, or I mean, movie called Source Code. Do you remember that? By some Jake, whatever Hall guy. He's like in the Spider-Man Part 3 or some shit like that. And he was a villain. But in that movie, Source Code, what happened was he kept repeating the loop. So he died every single time the train blew up. And he had to learn how to solve the puzzle, right? Who was in charge? Who did all this stuff? Where the gun is, right? Who's this? Eventually, he figured out the puzzle, right? With the help of other people. And then he got out of the source code. And he got reincarnated. They wanted to keep him in the loop, right? For other projects. But you should watch that movie. You should watch the movie Source Code. Because what you're experiencing right now is a source code, right? Everything just boom, right? Blows up. Because that one lesson, the last day of your boot camp. You understand that? You know, every student after you just got laid like nonstop, laid. So yeah. So learn how to flirt, use your body language to build attraction, and behavioral game. Get back to being whitewashed because you want to be in the in tribe. It's all evolutionary psychology. Okay? Get back in the in tribe and try to get me that lay. So I believe you can do it. That one lesson, man. This is why I say this, students. It's kind of like a pipe, right? So imagine a pipe has like looks, money, status, social skills, which you have, social calibrations, emotional control, which you're lacking in game. Okay. And there's spraying water everywhere, right? Whatever you're leaking, the sticking points, right? On the boot camp, I try to plug as many as possible. But there's one leaking, the emotions, right? In the body language, the alphaness. You don't flirt enough, you're too nice. It's still leaking all these years. And the water has filled up over your neck, right? Over your eyes. You see that? That's what happened. If you plug that in, right? And you fix the fashion back to the old way, it's almost like the water will go into the next room. You get it? And it'll fill the bathtub. Asian fill a bathtub. White people fill like a fucking tub or a small little pail, right? Of water. Once it's all filled, that means you get the automatic lay. So you need to fix these issues or they keep repeating themselves. Hope that makes sense. So, I mean, you're not bad, like I said, but you're only halfway as a PUA. You got to flirt, man. You got to be alpha. You got to not care what she thinks. You know, you gotta not care. So you gotta be able to take the punches. You need the grit. So I want you to read the David Goggins book called "Don't Hurt Me," because he's been through a lot of shit. I think that's good for your mindset too. You need upgraded mindset. You can't just let that one fucking sticking point. And most of the Vietnamese students, right? They're very similar. They always seem to be very offended, very they're not emotional, but they get butt hurt, and they can't read the woman's emotions or what she's saying. All of them. So I have many Vietnamese students even during COVID, and you saw the other Vietnamese guy, the bald guy. He's like 6 foot or 5'11". He got 2 same-day lays. But a lot of the Vietnamese students during COVID has been more like mentally off. I talk about the 5 mindsets, right? Coachability, adaptability, skill, believability, and also manifestation, thoughts and feelings. Because when you have those feelings of being triggered, that's fucking up your manifestation with the women. You see that? And the thoughts, you're really in your head, and you have a lot of unnecessary, downward spiral thoughts. I know this only makes sense to you, but I think you kind of get it. You really need to grow a backbone. You need to start flirting. You can't be afraid to pull the trigger. It's okay. You got to give yourself permission to be a man. You have to give yourself a permission that it's okay that women are into sex, and it's not like a bad thing. And they like a guy to be alpha because that's what keeps them on the line. You have to tease sometimes. I know you don't like how fucking tough I was when I tease women. It looks like on the boot camp that I nearly knocked her fucking jaw off sometimes. You never see anyone tease as tough as me. It's almost like a guy who's like a complete fucking psycho. I'm not saying you need to be like that, but you need to have that dominance that Filipinos have. The Vietnamese need the Filipino dominance because they can be very nice people too. But when it comes to polling, holy shit, I will bet the chips on a Vietnamese or a Filipino student. I'll put all my chips on the Filipino. I don't care which Filipino. I know he was going to close. Hope that makes sense. So we can talk about that later, right? Though today I would probably be a little bit tired, but yeah, contact me right now on the WhatsApp. I'll just say hi then. I just put yo. Okay. I send you a message on WhatsApp, so we can discuss that. You took my boot camp. I'm going to give you the course. And other than that, yeah, that's all the advice I have for you. That's what I want to tell you after all these years. Please go back to your fashion, man. Your hairstyle. Fuck the old, hairstyle that you had. And stop trying to be a K-pop artist. You're a little bit tan in complexion. You cannot pass for a K-pop artist. I know you like K-pop and you think it's really cool, and to be whitewashed, like you're living in an area full of white people, man. It's gonna be very hard to find a girl that's really into the K-pop niche. Okay? Fuck the K-pop niche. Not for you. Right? Like I did have a Vietnamese student that had 2 models as a fuck buddy, but he looks like a K-pop artist. So when we look at the Asian testimonials, he can pull it off. He had blonde hair too. And I don't do this blonde hair because of trying to be K-pop, I don't want the white hairs everywhere. It's just fucking pissing me off. But yeah, you need to complete that lay, man. When you see this guy, right? 3 fuck buddies, but 2 models. You see on top? Most people don't realize that he has a cool, this guy on top. So how did he get 2 models in London? He's super good looking. He's like almost like 8.5 or 9 out of 10 in looks. Compared to me, I'm just like fucking okay now. Not as good looking as before when you knew me, but a little bit chubbier or bulkier. But however, it's been many years. But for him, he's still good looking. And he was in a band, so he had the status maxing. So maybe you should think about social media too, right? On how you can maximize it in such a way with your whitewash fashion and getting a lot white female friends, so it looks more pre-selected, and keep more white people into your social media. You got to start auditing your social media in a way that nothing cock blocks you looking too Asian wash. A woman can look at one thing, okay, and just say no. Joe, there's too many questions about like, how about you just fucking? Oh, you have my products. You already got late. Okay. Fuck. Just I don't know. Maybe get elite access or something because you already have my products. You can, and then ask me a bunch of stupid questions there. You always think about women or like when do they ask you out? Why is that so important? I don't get it. Why do they have to ask you out? You're the man. You're supposed to ask them out. So you're not good looking or just okay looking, whatever. Just fucking dress better and dress whitewashed and have some confidence. Oh yeah, and that's an important thing I want to say to the other student too. Confidence. What the fuck is confidence? It's the absolute absence of doubt in your vibe. When you have that kind of doubt in your vibe, it kind of fucks things up. It's because it's the manifestation, right? You keep thinking of shit like this in your mind over and over, both of you. You're gonna manifest this fucking doubt. So yeah, so correcting the mindset. Who cares what the woman thinks? And you are more important than her in the interaction. I know that's hard to do, but if you have these two mindsets, a lot of things will correct itself. Okay, it's almost like 2 hours. I hope you guys learn a lot. So I'll keep in touch with my former student, and let's get you that lay for sure, and to pull the trigger. Like I said, it's okay. It's okay. Everything is forgiven. So, and sorry if I just sort of like, kept ignoring you. In the past, I did have a lot of students, even if they got laid, they kind of turn on me and stuff. And I just didn't want to see that shit happen. A lot of half the students, they turn into Jedi. Half of them turn into Sith, evil. Because once the self-esteem or the ego goes up, right, the self-esteem goes down. You see that? After that lay, they crash. Their eyes turn red. And some of them turn evil. They shoot laser out of their eyes. Other people are very nice. They're grateful, right? So it really depends. So, okay. How about text me the email for your Google Drive? Okay. For the other student, I'll add you on the Elite 30 and you get on it right away. You get yourself a mirror. You go look at the video on how to get laid during the summer, how to use Elite 30. You practice in front of the mirror first because there's a lot of COVID out there. I hope you're vaccinated. So you practice at home. You can fuck it up all you want and you can record yourself. Like if that's the mirror, you put the camera here on the ground. So it bounces off there and bounces off to you, right? So you can look at yourself in the mirror while you're practicing. But you can still get it recorded into the phone. You see that? And that'll be very helpful to see what your mistakes are. And try to get as close as possible to Elite 30. That's going to make a big, big difference, a game changer. Because you can see what your mistakes are. And yes, unfortunately, how they give you this vague advice, Asians need to be more emotional, more expressive. The other upgrade I want to talk to you about in the boot camp, because back then, is that don't use romance. Just go all sexual as an Asian. Because you don't fit into the boyfriend-girlfriend frame. Never use romance. And use the sexual connection, seeding the maneuver, sexually seeding, and objections looping. And escalating in between progressively, 5 steps. I think that covers a lot of what I want to cover for today. Give it a thumbs up if you guys learned something. Oh yeah, and before I go, I want to pitch my products. Because over here, Joe Montana already got laid with one of them. Do I have permission to do it? Anyone who doesn't want to be here right now to be pitched to, I understand. You can leave. You have my permission to leave. Just drop off right now. Okay. I'm going to start, okay? I'm going to try my best to pitch my products. I don't know what words to use. When you see Joe Montana over here, give the likes up. John's the best coach. Thank you. Listen, when I made Elite 30, in the universe, they kept telling me, like, you have to make this product called From Hard Case to Hero. And I was like, what does From Hard Case to Hero mean, right? Heaven is like from hard case to hero, from hard case to hero, from hard case to hero. But what does that mean? Like I get hard case, right? But hero, it has to be that name. So okay, fine. So call Wayne 30 at the time, from hard case to hero. Okay. From hard case to hero. Okay. My old roommate, he flew in from somewhere else, London. He asked me if he can help me film something. I made this product because there needed to be a solution. It was the first day of my boot camp, social calibrations. And this is what the naturals use too. This is what they taught. So when I made this product, I was looking at a chart called Asperger's syndrome. I was like, well, that's fucked up. No eye contact. Okay, eye contact in there. Oh, they hunch. They have weird body language. Okay, so I corrected things. I had to find 30 pieces, the first principles. So we filmed everything, and he helped me film everything. Thank you very much. So he helped me film everything. You could better do your Elite 30 like one day at a time. You gotta stop doing your own spam approaching. So basically, for Elite 30, I made it a 30-day challenge. Because I knew it'd take 21 days to build a habit. 21 days. You cannot actually build a habit just by spam approaching. This is why these people only have 5 Asian lay testimonials or 6 Indians, right? Because it's not a habit. It's more like a tactic. You got to stop thinking in tactics, guys. A lot of you have been stuck for 5 to 8 years now. A lot of you, 6 to 8 years. You went to RSD. You went to all these coaches in between, these famous coaches worshiping. And some of you guys still need to get some results to show for it. Some of you are still aiming for your first lay in Daygame. And this is what I want to impart to you guys. Because when you look at all the testimonials I have, they all have one thing in common. All of them have mastered the habits, 21 days of Elite 30 from hard case to hero. I wish I could get this to people's minds. Stop worshiping. The worship does not lead to results. Only a specific type can get that result. The positive stereotypes that can fit into a boyfriend-girlfriend frame or whatever. These are a very niche audience that get these kind of results compared to 30 plus. And with the other student here, right, in the past, he's going to be 31. Actually, no, I'm going to post 31. Queefin Casanova's old student, I'm going to post it today. And then 32 will be him. So do as fast as you can. Practice it. Elite 30 makes the lays happen faster. When you look at the bootcamp clips, you see the other student, right? He's wearing a blazer and stuff. He got 3 lays. It was the first day that he got the woman out by the body language. Don't you guys get it? That's the secret. It's the body language of an alpha male. And they never talk about it. They never will mention social calibrations in this industry. And they'll talk about social skills, but look at all these guys with the social skills. Socio skills. It's not the same. This is not the kind of thing that is leading to testimonials. They're an artificial version. So there's a social skill flow drill. But you can't, I'll talk about the zombie habits, but the playbook was designed to be built on top of it. Playbook was built first. When was the playbook first built? Version number 1. The Elite Playbook was built in 2014. It has gone through over 25 or 26, 27 revisions over the years. And there's like a newest version. So there's like a newest version. And this is the newest version that works. When the student gets like 25 lays, some of the students only from Elite 30, like the Middle Eastern students and the London student, and they say, John, I want to buy the playbook. So you want to master Elite 30 first, because it's social skills and social calibrations first. Then you can add the emotions in the game, right? The tonality changes, and so you can, like, when you tease, right? It's up here, right? So I want to say to the former student, it has to be a tonality change. For example, if you're teasing, it has to go higher and faster. My God, what's wrong with you? You can't be like, hey, what's wrong with you, right? In that tonality. The way you talk. You always go for the NSP, the normal state projection or natural state projection. At the same time, when you see me talking like this, a little bit slower, it sounds like I'm caring. You see that? it sounds like I'm very caring. That's just a little bit slower. So it's kind of like a highway, right? The car is going just a little bit slower. But if you're talking your normal tonality is like 50 miles per hour, right? You see that? When you go up here, it's like 75 miles per hour. You get it? When you're flirting, right? It's almost like 25 miles per hour. And when you're sexualizing it, it's lower and slower, 10 miles per hour. You get it? So you have to master the tonalities because you have a very natural tonality at NSP. You need to have the variations and changes. Does that make sense? That's what you're missing because you're good at talking. You're good at social skills, but you need to change once in a while out of it. So just like the boxing concept, the Filipino student says, the flow drill is like boxing. It's like jabs back and forth. But when she's giving me attitude, right cross, boom, right? Right? But back to the jab. But the right cross has to be like up here, high and fast. Has to be like a tease, right? The hook punch, boom, right? It's like a flirt. It's like down here. So it's the emotional impact when you talk like that. Tonality is destiny. See that? Tonality is destiny. John might make a new system called the best Daygame. No coach can never tell you. You know, if you want me to make a new system, maybe it should be the social skill flow drill, right? They're all the same system. Think about it this way, okay? Think about it this way. Everything I've taught you, Elite 30, from hard case to hero, is like a different blazer, okay? I'm going to show you an example. This will be a good way to explain it. All right? I'm going to grab some blazers over here. One, two. Okay. All right. So here are some different blazers. So imagine that Elite 30 is this one, right? This one. Okay? This is the social calibration blazer. This is the same person, but the skill will be the body language. And when you talk about social skills, it's going to be more of this blazer. Does that make sense? So it's almost like you're mixing two of them together. 1, 2. See that? That's what it's like. It's like two blazers in one. So now you have the body language with the social skill flow drill. So therefore, you have like 5 out of 10. And you might have one for the emotions, right? Which is the blue, right? Not sure if all this would fit or snap, right? But with the emotions, now you have all 3. You don't even need the game that much. You just need the minimal amount of tactics. Guys get it? So you're day gaming with 3 different systems in one. You see that? But they all run parallel to each other. And lastly, the game. You don't even need the game that much. You just need enough to know like it's where to sexualize, when to flirt, when to tease. That's all it is. See that? It's just all this stuff together. So they're all this stuff. The naturals only use this 3. You see that? Very little of the last jacket. I know it sounds it's kind of funny when you think about it, right? It's a fucked up way of thinking about it. But that's exactly what it is. You got to develop these skills. For this jacket and this other one, right? For this other one, social skills, you got to develop the skills. It takes 21 days at least. And just because you go out there socializing doesn't mean you can build the skills. But for you, for my old student, you have social circle and friends. You can develop the social skills, but the drills help you a lot too. Okay? The drills help you a lot too. Does that kind of make sense? So if I ever made a new system, right, then maybe it'll be about a social skill flow drill of why the London student got 10 fuck buddies. 10 fuck buddies. How did he get 10 fuck buddies? He had the perfect body language, right? Like one of these things. But he didn't have the social skills. So therefore, it didn't actually get him consistency. But when he got the social skills and the social calibrations, fuck, just lay after lay after lay, rarely getting rejected. I know he's tall and white. I get it. But I've also had tall and white students that had like a cortisol problem. And it fucked up. Think about it this way. If this is 2.5 points each, if the emotions is fucked, it pulls the points right out of your looks, right? So even if you're 9 out of 10 in looks, like my other tall student before, it made his looks into like 7 because it's so bad because you talk so fast. Behavioral game, do not talk fast. The faster you talk, the more you think you're going to get interrupted. I'll say this again. The faster you talk, the less you hook, because women thinks that you expect to get interrupted. That's breaking the rules of behavioral game. You need to slow down your tonality to the right speed. It becomes hypnotic when you talk to women like this, like a natural, a real natural. They slow down. So when you get the cortisol fixed, it will not leach points out of the other categories. Too much of the cortisol, you start to hunch in the freezing position, you want to run. The worst students are the avoidant ones. Fight, flight, and freeze. The ones who want to fight, right, are the worst because they'll quit Daygame very easily. They don't have grit. They want to run to the adrenaline. They want to run as fast as possible. But yeah. So all these work in parallel to each other. And yes, while you have one jacket, right, for the former student, you have to develop a second jacket, 21 days minimum. Every day, do not skip the practice. And one student who's Middle Eastern, for example, guys, remember this guy? There was a Middle Eastern student who got laid, but then he told me that he wanted to bang this model. And I said, don't cheat because she has a boyfriend in jail. They left jail and they stabbed him 3 times in the chest. But he fucked a woman after he practiced for like 16 hours a day. He practiced for 10 hours at home in front of the mirror. Then he practiced in front of his social circle. He was the first student that mastered social skills flow drill in a few minutes because he was always in a social circle. Guys, get it? And who is this student over here? Listen to what he has to say. You can replicate his behavior.
What's up, guys? I'm here to give my full review and testimonial to John Elite and this program and this coaching. But let me just introduce myself. I'm a Middle Eastern dude that lives in Europe. I've been doing it all my life. And I'm also Victor Forresty, Todd Valentine, Matt Oxon, Jonathan Lifestyle, you name it. So I've been following those guys for like 5 or 6 years with actually getting 0 results. And then, I was looking on different internet forums and stuff like that to find someone new, a new coach. Then I saw like John Elite and his program and his coaching getting hated by everybody. At the beginning I was skeptical too, Then I was actually given a chance. I emailed him, I talked with him, and I think he was a nice dude, So I was like giving him a shot, He actually answered me and actually helped me out. So I bought Elite 13 and his coaching. And after being 1 week inside this program, I actually got laid with a blonde girl in my social circle. And then 3 more days to go. And I'm about a week inside this program.
That's a lay over here.
I think he's the best dating coach out there, without doubt, Like, if you sign up for him, you'll definitely get results. The only question is, when you will get the results, not if. Because look at me, I was the victim for 6 years with 0 results. Like, I had actually 0 results. So, when I signed up for him, I actually got inside this program for 1 week. And the way, John actually coaches you, he's straight on point. He's like, no questions asked, just do it, and he's sometimes it can be hard. But he's doing it for a purpose, and that's because he wants you guys to succeed. He wants you to take action and get stuff done. So, I actually recommend it to everybody. Like, if you don't take his courses or his coaching, you're missing out something big because he's a without question asked the best one out there. Like, literally the best one out there.
So for this bald 5'7" student, right? If you can replicate what he's done, man, after 1 week, he got laid. 1 week. Every day, he only worked on one piece at a time. So it's like martial arts, you only work on one punch. It's kind of like drilling for oil, right? If you have this shiny object syndrome, you're focused on way too many things at once, right? Too many things. You can't focus enough to get the habit down. So he spent 1 day on the first day of Elite 30, a happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe. So the whole day he practiced talking like a happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe like this, right? Very happy all the time. He just talked like that. He just didn't know why he was so happy. And when he did that around his social circle, the women started to get intrigued. He was rejected for 6 years in a row. They were intrigued. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? John, the women are getting turned on. Second day was the breathing exercise, the meditation. So he had to learn how to breathe properly. Box breathing, Navy SEAL breathing. But after that, women start begging for him to drive them home. And he was like, what? I never had that happen. So it's almost like they're approaching him. Because the body language and the happiness and the chillness, the slowness of the voice. You get it? I told him to slow down. After the third day, the fourth day, fifth day, he's already getting dates. By the time he reached a week, right? That's when he got that lay. Next week, after he kept practicing, he didn't stop the 16 hours a day practice. He treated it like a martial art, because you're a martial artist right now, right? So I used to be in Krav Maga and you're in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I've done a little bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? But I'm just a little bit rusty because I didn't get my habits down enough. But however, it takes time to drill it down, the techniques. It's not like going to happen overnight. So Krav Maga, you can see like in my videos when I'm disarming weapons and stuff, like I did it for 5 years in a row. So for me, it's automatic. You need to make this automatic. Elite 30. And sometimes the problem could be physical, right? Like the fashion. You can get fashion change really quickly. But at the same time, sometimes the habits are the problems. It's a habitual problem. So my new Kaizen student who's Chinese in Tall and stuff, whenever he's around a woman or he's looking at a hot picture of a woman, he starts talking fast. Now I say, see, motherfucker, you got cortisol. It's like, oh shit, you're right, John. I got to practice to slow down my speech. Yep, hold that picture or maybe print it out, her face, and then practice. And then you don't get as nervous. You can slow down around her. Excuse me, I was just looking for a place called Zara. Do you know where I can find it? Oh, by the way, I've noticed something else about you right now. I've noticed that, you can practice by slowing down at the right places. If you have a picture of women there, and then you go out there and practice it. It's a no stakes practice, but you keep practicing that and leveling up that one skill. Get it? That one skill. All you work on all day is just that happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe. Just that one skill. Hope that makes sense. That's how I want you to practice. Exactly the same as you're practicing jiu-jitsu. Exactly. It needs to be drilled down, and it needs to be practiced and sparred out there afterwards. You do this, then you'll level up like crazy. Just be careful not to catch COVID. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to catch the Delta. It's everywhere. But just try not to get yourself in the hospital. That's why you can practice at home. Go to Walmart, $30 mirror. All right, that's all the advice I have for you today. I'll talk to you on WhatsApp for a little bit. And yeah, I'll enable your course. And one more thing I want to ask. Did you have the old playbook? I remember that you probably had one of my products before, right? You have the first version on the YouTube. If you're still there, just let me know yes or no. If you type yes, then I know. I can always give you the other newer version so you can get the updated information. We can always discuss that later. But that's all I got to teach for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up. And yeah, so for all the people that are still here, listen, there's a solution out there. And it's not just a few late testimonials or zero for their products. It's not like that. It is nonstop late testimonials. Nonstop. And you can see like all these testimonials. Okay, it's just 70 videos, right? But if you want, maybe in a few days, it can go past 100. It'll be like 120. Like there's that many, like that's just the beginning. It may be way more. So Asians 30, maybe by tonight, 31. And sometime I'll post your bootcamp documentary. So that'd be cool. So at least people can learn the lessons. And then when you get the lay, I can always update it, I can always update it. So then this can finish the whole funnel. The pipe that's leaking in the wrong place, this could finally be plugged up. Then anyways, I'm going to stop the video. So thank you for being here. Don't forget, your attention is the most important. You're spending your time here with me to listen. So I want to say that I'm very grateful for all the students I've impacted. Yes, I bought it. Okay, I'll send you that one too, okay? It's on me. So it's the least I can do. Rewatch it. Take notes. It's going to be updated version. It's the newest version of the game. I should just rename it like Elite Playbook 2.0 or some shit. So, and I have a question for you guys before I go. Are you sure they have the solutions for other coaches? The product, zero late testimonials, your summer is gone. Do they have the solutions, or does it upsell you into a boot camp because it didn't work? So keep that in mind. I'd rather you guys get laid quickly. You become a video testimonial. I get more students. The other way is just a long cut. So that's more like, isn't that more like a chemotherapy? The long, drawn out treatment. Not everyone's going to survive. Not everyone is suitable for it. I'd rather cut the tumors out very quickly. And as you know, in my boot camp, I'm pretty fucking aggressive when I coach. Like, no joke. Like a drill sergeant. I want the tumor cut out fast. That's how I train people. I want fast results. Fast. Like very, very fast. I don't care about like theories. I don't care about I want changes happening fast. So, but other than that, that's all I want to say. Is it the treatment or the cure? I have the cure. How many times do you need to invent the cure? That's the better question. Why would I update Elite Playbook if it still works really well? And why would I? Because a lot of the old steelers are coming back and they're like, John, I got like fucking 4 fuck buddies or 3 girlfriends. It's like, yeah, so I have your old products, right? Like, I haven't seen in many years, right? I got like fucking, I'm engaged now. It's like so many of them. So, yeah, you'll see more. Yeah, I better start working on the next screenshot placeholder for next testimonial. A Filipino student, former Quicken Casanova student. So, anyways, that's all I say. See you next video. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about next, but I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll think of something. I hope you guys learned a fuck ton today. Johnny Lee out.